Thokozani, I am Pabadimu, the advocate of Ilozi, and once again, I welcome you to my channel. And thank you so much for choosing to view my video. Today, I'll be talking about life after the calling, or rather the journey itself, because what we need to understand is that when you're getting a calling, usuka ubizwa ukuthi usabele ubizo lakho, and for you to gain or rather regain your identity, the truth of who you are, because all that we have la umasphila emhlabeni is the identity we given to us by our family, our bloodline, and all of these other things. And when you have a calling, there is a greater identity that you need to connect with, or rather connect with your higher or spiritual self. So that is why you need to undergo a training. So it does not matter necessarily the training you're going into, because we are being called differently. So your training is what enables you to get the documents, the paperwork, the everything, the new ID, for you to be able to use it spiritually. Because when you are called, uma unobizwa, especially onomsebenzi wabantu abadala, you are being given a new identity. It might seem new to you, but it's not relatively new to your spirit. That is why when you find you have a calling and all these other things, your life tends to be disrupted. You're always getting sick. There's a lot of things happening around your life. And that is a pointer or indicator that there's a lot of change or a lot of shedding that needs to happen, because that is totally different from a spiritual awakening. So that is why when you're going through your trainings or your initiations, whatever you want to call it, your identity changes. You're no longer using your birth name. You're now being referred to by ugogo or umkhulu, or your spiritual name. For example, I am Nkomiyahlaba, but I do not like people calling me by that, because that is my spiritual identity. That name, or rather lelo gama lelo, I use it at a particular time in my life. And yes, I use it in a particular time or in a particular way. But yes, Mpabadibu is more of a formal way to address me with respect, because it is very, tricky when sometimes you're trying to explain to people that Gogo, and they start looking at you. So that is where, I wanted Ama Abotozwami to like actually give some form of direction in terms of how are we going to work around this, because you're saying Gogo, but look, so that is when igama leli umpho labuya ebantwini abadala. That is why I am Mpho Abadimu, So ngokweDlozi, yes, that is igama engalithola uNkomiyahlaba. So where I'm going with this is I want you to understand ukuthi that is where you are getting your spiritual identity. I was not Mpho Abadimu before ukuthwasa. I was Umphoza. I was just Mphoza. I was just using my birth name, and it was the way it was. So because by ID, I am Udimpo Michelle, and that person or loyo muntu loyo died spiritually, because that was the cover, or rather the costume I was wearing to maneuver around Lana in this physical world. So she died, in a spiritual way, and Umpho Abadimu, or rather uGogo Nkomiyahlaba, was now born. That is why we are where we are today. So me coming to this identity thing, that is why you're being called ugogo and umkhulu and all these other things, because now we are referring to you by your spiritual identity, and it is important that you understand that that is who you are. You're being referred to or being called by the people that carry you. So spiritual identity comes with a lot of responsibility, and life after a calling is neither easy. That is one thing I need to reassure you of, because people often have a misconception that you are sick, you go get consultations, they tell you, hey, you are out of time, the snooze, and uyahamba, uyaphehlweni, and then uyothwasa, and then automatically when you come back from iphehlo, you're thinking to yourself, it's gonna be flowing. Oh no, Momo, it doesn't work like that. you now have this new spiritual identity, or rather this new name. You're now moving as ugogo umpugane, right? So now you need to adjust in this new world, because what happened is that everything you were, if you were ukarabo before this whole thing, everything that ukarabo acquired or had, she lost before Atwasa. That is everything. So now you come back and you need to start your new life as ugogumpukani. And that is a lot, because you need to readjust first in your society. People need to get with the program that manjusu ugogo. And people don't have some, I feel respect to that extent, because once also twasile, there's a certain way you speak to umuntu onabantu abadala, and this, but people have lost that, because I think these days we're looking hotter and hotter and more relevant, and they feel the need to see it as a disrespectful thing, and they just look at you and see just some slay queen, and they think but anyway, asikolapo. But what I'm trying to say is that you need to adjust and readjust as that person. Try and find yourself, because I always say, give yourself time to adjust, especially in your gift, because it is not easy. You cannot utubuye pehle niksasa. You are all smiles and happy and your life is just, because you need to readjust, build up this momentum, and nakona have this relationship between wena namadlozi wakho, because what was happening while you were in the initiation phase, you were dependent on your spiritual mentor or whoever that was assisting you to be able to be the mediator in your spiritual life. So almost you're being left right there in the desert for you to fend for yourself, and it is not easy, because now you must be able to find balance spiritually. You must be able to control yourself. You must be able to adjust and all these other things. Now I walk in a different way. I talk in a different way. I behave in a different way. So the person you are becoming ukuthwasa, usukhulile manje. You're no longer at the phase of a calling, and you owe no one an explanation for who you are, because you are taking form. Ooh. I hope you got that. You are taking form spiritually of who you are. I always go back to my old pictures as far as 20 something, and I was like, who's this ghost? Because I feel that was an old me. I always say past life, because it was a past life. That person and lomunte ngiwuye. That person I was, Olo wazala 2016. We are different person. We are different people. Yes, my mom birthed all of this lusciousness, but spiritually, it has been an ongoing thing. I just needed to reconnect. I needed the adapter to find myself spiritually. So you must not actually fall under the spiritual scam of trying to fit in and trying to do or conform to society. We are in a new age. Be yourself, and unapologetically so. You don't owe anyone an explanation. As long as uhlonipha lamadlozi akubizile and uwenza lo msebenzi abakini bakuphe wona, what the next person or what the next person thinks about you should not necessarily matter to you, because this is a journey. Because I always say iphehlo langempela liqala umusuqedile ukuthwasa, because umuthwasa, we understand that you're going through a very, very critical stage, and that is when kuhlukana kwemihlaba okumhlaba kusala. So now it is very lonely and isolating, life with a gift, or rather life after a calling, because now you are the one with a special ability, and you're a special type of person. And that is why you always want to keep to yourself or keep to your space. And it's always isolating. I know. That is why Dala always say, abantu babelaphi. They would always stay they're isolated from the communities. Uma bofuna ukuza kuMpobadi, you literally have to travel an arm and a leg, you know? And that is why the consistency was there spiritually, because all of these things distracting us spiritually, bezingekho, you know? So it is very isolating. I do not want to lie. Naturally so, because it's natural selection, you know, to each its own. And that is why ungalendlela ungai. And you don't owe anyone an explanation, you know. Being around people, you know, becomes, you know, a struggle. Little things that you take for granted are a struggle, you know, because you are not like everyone else. And it's not that you have to adjust to people's standards. People have to adjust and understand that you are not everyone. You are not everyone. And that is true. Honestly, that is true. Baby girl, you are not like everyone. And you don't owe anyone an explanation. Imagine khona umuntu ongasukeleka nje ahamba phethe sniff. Ayifake emakhaleni just nje. You are not like everyone. So people are often held back by their past life. Into wawuyiyo ngaphambi kokuthi usabele ubizo lakho. Uma usabele ubizo lakho lalela gogo rumkhulu. Udela konke, ushiya konke ngasemuva. That is everything you had. That is people you knew. Because what is happening is that this is everything you had. And this is you spiritually. You are going. Giddy levels. Gupta levels. You're going up. So what happens to all these things you once had? They become irrelevant or they serve no purpose in your new life. So I do not necessarily want you to say, I'm alone, or people are doing this, or I lost this. Keep it moving and stop complaining. Your people, or rather idlozi lakho, will make way for your new life. You just need to learn to adjust. And above everything else, if you are content and accept who you are and know who you are, but don't do it for us. We don't care. Honestly, we don't. Because at the end of the day, we're not there. So you need to accept into uyithande and love even if it has ups and downs, because this is not a black and white type of thing. It has got a variety of things and has got a variety of colors. One thing that every time I always get when you consult someone, Gogo, what will happen to my boyfriend? Honestly, I will not judge you. We all want to be loved. We all want to feel that feeling of belonging, whatever the case might be. But I'll just say, take your life seriously after ukuthwasa, because honestly, anyone that you're going to have, uma usuthwasile, spiritually ngalo muntu anisafani ngokwezinga spiritually. If you find someone spiritually matured enough, you grow together. But that is a very rare case. Because anything and anyone you had prior to that, and you found your new identity, you take your different journeys. That's just how it is. You outgrow, or rather spiritually outgrow certain things. Okay, I just kicked my ring light. Okay, anyway. So the point is that that is how it is. You cannot find a way around it. You keep it moving as a person because there is no manual. It's like being a mom. It's like finding a new job, moving into a new place, because almost your new spiritual identity. You're being thrown into the wilderness and you need go to you're gonna face the ups and the downs. And you need to stand for it. Ungabi ashamed. Who are you? I am Mbobozehluzi. Don't be ashamed, no matter what. So bakhona bombobozehluzi abombobozehluzi ebusuku, but emini babo Angela, you know, and all of that. So don't feel constricted and think that everything should hold you back and everything is smooth sailing. That is why I always say people that are destined or meant for this path, or rather ubizo, baya lasta. You don't hear any funny stories about Bani. Yeah, exactly that. So my point to you is that live, immerse, love who you are. Because not everyone gets that opportunity. Umidlozi livumile ukuthi ukwazi for you to walk the mile. Why are you being ashamed? For what? For who? For why? You're wearing long sleeves. You're hiding who you are. Don't do that. And don't fall for the scam of trying to imitate people or trying to be something you're not. Calm the down. Do you live for you at the end of the day? Because it's unfulfilling. It leaves you with the hole in your spirit. And the word that I wanted to give to you is that take your time. No, akufani nobizo. This is a journey. So you take your time and uzohamba ngendlela idlozi lakhe efuna ukuthi. And it's not perfect. You make mistakes. You go through things because now once you have answered the calling, everything you are going through, your life, whatever it is, you are having a spiritual journey. You are taking notes because whatever it is preparing you for what's going to come or people that you are going to encounter. Yeah. Coming to think of it now, this life is lonely a lot. And it is lonely in the sense of a physical eye, but spiritually, yeah, I'm not alone. I'm always with, my gang. But we are living in a time where we're trying to understand what is really going on in the life of Masitis Bevumunto Isangom. You can never comprehend because it's out of words. It's unexplainable. It's unexplainable. Because it's a lot. It requires sacrifice. It requires, if you think being a black sheep was, you literally the black sheep until because you now come back and have to explain and forget thinking when you come back from your training you can fix the world or everyone and your family. Stop it. That is why I need my depression. Take your journey. Find out ukuthi okay, sengibuyile ngathwasa ngaqeda. What is my gift? Because sometimes prematurely people go through training without knowing what is their spiritual ability. Ukwazi ukwenzani wena ngokwedlozi. Even if I say to a medium, what kind of medium are you? I'm just trying to broaden your mind. I'm just trying to unpack it and show you that this is not all doom and gloom. And this is not all cream and spices. Because it needs you ukuthi ube ne backbone. If you don't have a backbone, like wadlozi. It is like that. It needs a certain level or a certain understanding of your spirituality. For me to be this bold and this calm and this content about idlozi lami, it took me the whole of 2017. And it was not easy. I thought I knew, but I didn't know. That I know, that I didn't know, that I know. And you being in that spirit and being in connection nedlozi yakho, it is something very deep. It's not, I'm not talking about ukumemeza njengokong. That is not ukwazidlozi. Hey Bob! No. I'm speaking about that connection, that, oh my Lozi. Because you get to a level spiritually when you stop acting like you're mad. All right, I don't know what happened there, but you stop acting like you're mad. All right, no, that came out wrong. But it is like that because I think every time we think of Izangomo, we think, hey, my ball, mayonnaise, cheese and pepper. That's what you're always thinking. And it's a lot. But the connection between when and was like, you feel feel, you have this bond, you can hear, you can sense, you move nedlozi lakho, because it is, ooh, oh Lozi, how I love and appreciate you. It's about damn time. So listen, we're not done. We haven't even begun. There's still so much to do, and there's still so much work. I'm just here, the advocate amongst others, but take it or leave it. This is not easy. The things you don't see behind the scenes, where we're crying, you don't see that because you don't meant to see that. That's my things. It's my personal life. It's my personal. So how can you anyway move? But my point is that live. And what you do, as long as it brings you happiness, do it. What anyone thinks. Uthwasile, uthwasa ngugogo wami, uthwasa ngugogo next door. It's your DNA. So you don't owe me anything, honey. You don't owe me any explanation what you do. What the next person should be worried about is their own life and their own gifts. Who bega? Sangobe sinjani this? This is Kati. Honey. Khala phansi. Ngicancela ivithikayo. Asikho lapho. Anyway. So we still have so much to do and so much to learn, but in Jishas Kati. But other than that, I'll be back very soon. So don't forget to like and subscribe and do watch all my ads and leave your comments down below. And thank you so much for once again coming through. But zithande, ziqhenye, uzihloniphe, and be bold about who you are spiritually. Imagine. And you want to be ashamed. Drops earring. You cannot be ashamed. Honestly, you cannot. If honestly we're gonna live like that, magvalue. Magvalue. So take it. It is for you. But I wish you nothing but the best. Because manje, we are in a spiritual of season yokuthi sithwase and sibalance izinto zethu. So however it's balancing for you, keep it moving, darling. So I am Pavadimi, the advocate of Ilozi, and I will definitely see you later on another Oh My Lozi video. So, Tugazan.